show is brought to you by the Black Business School, the #1 black wealth institution on earth. To learn how to invest in the stock market for free, please visit firstshareofstock.com. That's firstshareofstock.com. And that link is at the top line of the description box. You got my personal recommendation on that, firstshareofstock.com.
I need some competition out here. Come on.
What do you think about the show itself? Because immediately after, you see a lot of people on social media deeming it the greatest of all time. I guess feeling the nostalgia of going back to their childhood. And I thought it was a little rushed. I think I love the show, but I wouldn't put it as the greatest of all time, in my personal opinion. What do you think it sits as the best you've ever seen when it comes to Super Bowl performances?
Well, I thought it was an amazing performance. I thought it was really ballsy of them to allow those particular artists all get together and do the halftime show. It speaks to our blackness, it speaks to our culture, and I really loved it. However, I'm a Prince fan, as you can see from the tattoo on my hand. And let's not forget that Prince did halftime, and that Beyonce and Bruno Mars did halftime. So I'm gonna put it in my top three. But I can't dismiss B and I can't dismiss Prince.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you think about during that halftime show, Eminem? He took a knee, and from what they're saying, he wasn't actually supposed to take a knee. They told him not to. He still took a knee. How do you feel about that happening? And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that it's very obvious that Eminem gives zero fucks about what anybody is trying to tell him when it comes to what to do. I think it was wonderful that he took a knee. I think it's horrible that Colin Kaepernick has been banned for the last 5 years, his livelihood, his money, everything like that. I think that it showed great solidarity with Eminem being white and taking a knee for what essentially is our problem. So I think it was great. I'm very glad that he did it.
Now, another performer in there, Snoop Dogg, we got news a couple of days ago prior to this that he owns Death Row Records, which was an amazing thing to hear. I think everybody was very happy for him to hear. But then immediately after that, we hear allegations that he was involved in sexual assault. And then immediately a lot of the people in the black community stem that to the news, the great news, and kind of comparing it to every time we hear great news about one of our people, whether it be in Hollywood, sports, whatever the case, it's immediately followed by some kind of bad news. What do you think about initially him taking ownership of Death Row and then the allegations that followed?
I think that it's amazing to have come through Death Row at the time that he did, and to reach back and get Pac, and to have Death Row just fall by the wayside because Suge was a psycho. For Snoop to go back and be able to get the record label and to start to, put on people we don't know and make Death Row a positive, see Death Row be seen in a positive light rather than a negative light. I think it's amazing. I'm clapping and cheering for him all the way. As far as the allegations, I have no comment.
Okay. Last time we had you here, we talked about T.I., and I seen you on the show last year, and Tiny, we asked you about that, and then we found out a few months ago that they dropped the charges, and it seemed like that case, pretty much went to the wayside. Do you think this is a common trend that you see, that people are just clout chasing now, these celebrities, rather than it being some real accusation that's really going on? Do you see that being in Hollywood?
Well, yes, I do. A lot of it is a money grab. How would the girl know that Drake put hot sauce in the condom if she wasn't trying to shove it up her cooch? I think there's a lot of money grabs out there. Also, I think that some of the things may be true, but I'm very much the type of person that if you slap me today, I'm going to tell tonight. I'm not waiting 15, 20, 25 years to speak on it. I, I'm just not that type of person. I do understand that a lot of women feel like they will not be believed, which has been a pattern for us women for a long, long time. But you can't, nothing beats a failure but a try. You should at least try and have it documented where people could go back and see, oh, yeah, she did file a report back then. I know that the timing of this lady's suit is very suspect. Why would you wait till the day that he dropped the news about Death Row? Why would you wait till 3 days before Super Bowl? You know, I know a lot of news outlets are not covering that story, and we're just gonna have to wait to see what happens. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, to kind of keep it on T.I., we see that he has now taken his talents to the stand-up comedy stage, and I'm hearing a lot of great things about it. I haven't heard anything personally, but I heard nothing but good stuff. What do you think about T.I. and his stand-up? Have you heard any? And what do you think about people transitioning into comedy? Me and my cousin talking about it. It's like, well, if he's good at it, why not? But I know a lot of people in the stand-up world have taken a lot of years and a lot of time and hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears to get into where they're at. So how do you feel about that whole dichotomy?
Well, it's a touchy subject for me because Tip is a friend of mine. I had the same problem when Nene Leakes was trying to do comedy as well, and we really had a battle over that one publicly, because there's a lot of people, even on Instagram, who are great comedic actors and could be a great comedic actor, but they want to try to do stand up, and it doesn't always transition. I've not seen Tip in person, so I can't go on what anybody says his comedy is like until I see it. I've not seen it.
Right.
I think that if he's always had it as a passion and he's always wanted to do it, then, if he thinks he's good and other people are saying he's good, then okay. But I know that for most of us, we've had to trek a long, long road to get to the position where we are. Most of the people that you like, the Bill Bellamy's, the Jamie Foxx's, and myself, Tommy Davis's, stuff like that. When we started doing comedy, there was no money. There was no money. There was no television. I started doing comedy before there was a Comic View or a Def Jam. And we don't take kindly to. It's like comedy is the only genre that everybody thinks they could do, which makes it seem like we don't take any thought or any process to what we're doing. Everybody don't think they can sing country. Everybody don't think they can sing opera.
Right.
Everybody don't think they can paint like Picasso. Everybody don't think they can be a sculptor, but everybody thinks that they can be a comedian. That part kind of irks me because everybody cannot. And if you come into comedy with an already built-in fan base, then you're years ahead of the hard work that we did, which was to live and create a fan base without any social media, by the way.
Right.
So, if that's what he wants to do, T.I. has the wherewithal to do whatever he wants to do. And I haven't seen him personally, so I don't take nobody's word for nobody when it comes to doing comedy. I have to see him for myself.